I'm excited to see what comes from this thing. It's got some new 800
Well, I
volt
think- yeah.
Banshee propulsion system.
I think that could be a game changer for electric.
they're calling it E-Muscle.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.
There we are. We are back for another episode of the Lambo and Leroy Show.
Yeah, we are.
Sean Gibson. I'm Bryant Lambert. We're rolling, man. We're rolling.
We're doing it, and today we have I have a very special guest, and I think a lot of you guys know who he is. And today it's Lambo.
Oh,
hey,
man.
Lambo. I think you have a very special guest too, right?
I do. He's pretty special.
Yeah.
My boy Leroy.
I mean, we're not
Sean.
special Ed, right? Just special.
No, just special, man. Because there's so many forms of special.
My wife thinks I'm special. My son thinks I'm special Ed.
Sounds about normal.
So
though.
I kind of have the same feelings towards them.
Good. Then, yeah, I'd say Chance is a special ed.
So we've come a long way so far through the show. We've made a lot of changes. I mean, the background.
Yeah, background, different colors. We're learning as we go, which is huge.
It is. And we've been busy. Our day jobs keep us busy. We've got a lot going on. And kind of want to use this time to catch up with you, man. What have you been up to?
Man, it's been crazy. Last weekend, I actually went out to Bark River for some short course off-road racing for Champ Off-Road, and it was epic. I've never been to Bark River, so it's one of those tracks I've always wanted to go to. I've been to every other track on the circuit. I've been to every track, whether it's West Coast or East Coast, everything. Bark River was just the one that I never went.
Where is Bark River?
It's in Minnesota. No,
Okay.
Michigan. It's in Michigan.
Big
Yep.
difference.
It's a big difference. It's in Michigan, but it's in the UP, the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
So it's way up there, dude. It's beautiful. The whole area up there is amazing. The weather was amazing. Midwest weather though, it's crazy because it's like always raining.
Was it?
it's
Okay, I was
always
going to
wet.
ask, what is the weather up there? What is the definition of amazing weather in Michigan?
Listen, it was like 75 degrees.
Okay.
Because right now we're in California and it's 105
yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
So it's been really hot up here. But went up there. It's just fresh air, man. Like the green trees, fresh air. You get off the plane, you're like, oh yeah.
See, and
So
when I
good.
think of Michigan, I think of like Detroit and stuff. I don't think of the fresh air, the green.
Yeah. The Upper Peninsula is it's kind of like it's mainly Wisconsin, really.
Okay.
It's like it's legit. You drive a half hour, you're in Wisconsin. So you're pretty much there. You're way up top. But Michigan, it's whatever. When Detroit and all that area is whatever. But when you go the UP and you go to the Wisconsin side of everything, it's like, oh my gosh, man, it's beautiful.
So it's kind of like here in California where we have L.A. and people think of Southern California as L.A. and that is not what Southern California
No way,
is.
not
we
at
have
all.
the mountains, the desert, beautiful beaches that aren't polluted. Like there's a lot going
Beautiful
on.
mountains. I mean, everything. There's really pretty stuff here in California, but people think L.A.
So I now I feel bad for Michigan since I think of Michigan as Detroit, and there's so much more to Michigan than Detroit.
And Detroit's worse than L.A.
Right. So how was the turnout up there as far as racers and trucks and
It
stuff?
was good, man. It feels like short course is back, which is really cool. I
Nice.
think there's like 26 pro lights, 24 pro lights, somewhere along there. I want to say there's 14 or 15 Pro 2s. There's 12 Pro 4s. UTVs are crazy. There's like 30-something UTVs. I mean, UTVs
awesome.
are just crushing it. So it was a great turnout. Good turnout crowd, dude. Those guys don't care. Like, rain for up there, there's nothing else going on.
Yeah.
They're going to the races.
Yeah.
They're all about it. So it was a really cool event, man. It was a lot of fun.
That's kind of the hard part here in Southern California to put on those events. And maybe why they've kind of struggled is there's always something going on. Like,
Absolutely.
The weekend comes and you've got so many options to
concerts,
do.
There's just everything.
There's beach life, there's weather, there's outdoor activities.
Exactly.
Then when you go out there, people look forward to that stuff, to those races coming into town. I mean, they plan, months in advance to.
Well, they sell out months in advance.
Wow.
Like Crandon's coming up, and they sold out their camping, I want to say like a month ago already.
Wow.
So it's like people plan for that all year long.
How many people do you think are at Crandon?
I know for the 50th anniversary, they're like 50,000 people, I think.
Wow.
They're throughout the weekend. I think every year, man, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like, it's huge right now.
Is the town that big? I've
No,
never been to
the town
Crandon, and I've always wanted to go.
The town has like 2,300 people.
No way.
Yeah,
So
it's a town, and then the closest big town is really Green Bay.
Okay.
So, I mean, Green Bay is like 2 hours away, but everyone comes from everywhere, and they camp there.
Oh,
and it's
wow.
just unreal. So the town is like 2,300 people. So there's no one in the town, man. It's unreal.
So at the race, were there many familiar faces from Southern California?
Yeah, man. Everyone's racing back there now because that's the only series, really.
Okay.
So it's like everyone is back to racing Champ Off-Road, which is cool. Like Champ used to be like the Torque and, the East Coast or the Midwest series.
Yeah.
So now Champ took it over. Champ is owned by ISOC. ISOC runs the snowmobile racing.
Oh, wow.
So they own that series as well. So in the winter, they do snowmobile. In the summer, they do Champ Off-Road.
But now, don't some of those snowmobiles, they go on the water, too. We've all seen them do
pretty
wheelies.
sick, dude.
It's just,
Yeah.
it looks like it shouldn't happen.
I know.
Kind of like when you see a big airplane coming in, you're like, that thing is so big and heavy. How is it even up there? Kind of like the snowmobile. How is that thing going across the water?
Well, it's the speed, man. It's the speed and power and just like, it's weird because that chip paddle, exactly that paddle chain, whatever thing it's called, man, just ripping across it. You got to stay in the wheelie, too. It's like, rah!
I've seen some videos where, they go and they kind of lose it and they literally get tossed off into the water. Oh, it's so bad.
Because when you're losing that, you're done. You're going to stop. It's like hitting a freaking roadblock,
That's too funny, man.
But, yeah, anyways, short course was cool, man. It was great racing. Friday night, it rained. Saturday, kind of drizzled all day. Like, it would start pouring, it would drizzle. It would pour, it would drizzle. But they ran them, man.
Who were you there covering? Like, what team were you there for?
I was there with Mayman Motorsports, the Racing Pro 4 for Falcon Tire.
Nice.
And then I was there with Ryan Beat. You know Ryan.
Yeah.
You've worked with Ryan for years. So worked with Ryan, do some, just coverage of him and do some video content. So, and then it was just cool to be back out there shooting again. I mean, I've grown up shooting short course, and I haven't probably been since Crandon last year, so almost a year.
No way.
Yeah, I haven't shot a short course race in about a year. So it was cool to be back out there. But it's funny, man. Like, you go back out and it's like, all right, I got this, and like they're so fast and like they're moving so much. Like you got to get your like movements back down and filming, So
yeah.
it just takes time.
You keep
to get
missing
back.
the shot.
You
Shoot,
do. Like, damn it. So first practice like scrapped. I'm like, well, I didn't get anything first practice. And but like once I started to get back into the movement, it's like riding a bike, dude. It's like, all right, cool. Jump back on. All right, got that shot. And by Saturday, you're just getting bangers.
It was just epic.
Yeah, it was just epic. Getting good shots, wrecks, freaking carnage, man. I got a bunch of the shots on my Instagram if you guys want to go check it out, just at Bryant Lambert. But it was cool, man. It was a lot of fun to go out there and shoot short course.
What was the peak and what was the pit?
The pit was for sure the rain on Saturday, man. They just sucked.
I mean, you got to put your rain boots on, smashing through the mud.
And your camera's getting soaked. Like, you're trying to cover it up with a bag, but the wind's blowing the bag off, and it's just not fun.
And then you're just not getting the right shot because it's getting on the screen.
Exactly. Exactly. You're constantly wiping the freaking lens off, and it just
smearing.
It sucks. I mean, it's kind of cool seeing like slow motion of mud flying and carnage and body panels ripping off, but it sucks. The rain just kind of not fun anymore.
So then the peak was obviously when the sun came back out and
Dude,
it stopped raining.
Sunday was epic, man. Sunday was actually, the weather was perfect. The track was perfect. It was just great shots. I know Kyle LeDuc, he's back at it. He's crushing again in Pro 4, and I know we had kind of a rough start to the year, but he's out there crushing again. So
yeah,
it's really cool. It's funny, man. Like we were talking about, I think episode 1 or whatever. These guys go through their emotions of like crush it. They're not doing good. They're not doing good. They're not doing good. It's like it's funny to see them, up and down because everyone else is progressing and slowing down and progressing, and so it's just leapfrog.
And I guess that goes in all motorsports. It's kind of nice to, I guess, you almost in all motorsports you see people exceed.
Oh yeah.
Fall back, move forward, play, leapfrog
man.
percents, every year. I mean, it's rare. I mean, unless you're like Tiger Woods, where you just get championship after championship after championship after championship. But I mean,
but still, they all have
even them. They have their days.
Yeah, they have their downfall, man. Everyone's got those days that it just doesn't work. Today's not working.
All right, that's what we're talking about. Off-road racing and kind of how it's a good kind of metaphor for life, I guess. Almost when you think about it, it's like it's all when you're racing off-road, you put so much work and time into it, and it's filled with obstacles, unexpected events, unexpected heartache, booby traps, whatever, and you just got to keep powering through them, prepare for them, go, not give up, get to the finish line.
It's crazy, man. Off-road is next level, whether it's short course or Baja or whatever you're racing. It's
rad. Well, my last couple weeks have been pretty busy, pretty hectic.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on, trying to start another business and trying to work on some side hustles and then playing on the internet. We have we have a pontoon boat. We were out there at a big family vacation with a bunch of people. I actually had like 16 people, most of them kids, just having a great day. And then like the pontoon boat started developing a misfire.
Yeah.
And we were far from what we're going to call home base. We were way up the river, and I had to get gas, so we had to keep moving up forward to get gas and trying to figure it out. Well, what I learned is I don't like catalytic converters on these boats because when you open up the hatch, this thing, it's a big block, which in the place of where a small block should be.
Yeah.
And it was, you can't even see a spark plug wire.
So
you can't even get your hand on a spark plug. Plus, then it's hot. So I tried messing around, trying to find something. I'm like, well, you know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on. Let's go get gas. And it just never got better. So we ended up calling one of our buddies. His name's Randy. Some of you guys know who Randy is, without me having to say who he is. But he came up with an excursion, grabbed our boat trailer, and we piled, basically 17 people into an excursion and towed the boat back down to Havasu.
No way.
Yeah. Where
were you guys at? Were you guys north or south?
We were up at Topak.
Oh, my. You're way up there?
We were way up there.
Oh,
and so,
dude.
the option was idle back from
Which
Topak.
would take 4 hours.
Oh, easy. With all the
With
kids.
17 people on the boat.
Hot.
Yeah.
Or try running it, but then I was going to kind of risk, I don't want to burn a hole in the piston or anything.
Make it worse.
So we stopped with there. But now the worst part is I call around to some places out there, see who can work on it.
You can't get in any shops right now.
It was 8 weeks, and we're trying to go out for next weekend
Of
and
course.
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
So then I call. So my buddy Randy's there. I'm like, hey man, I need your help.
Yeah.
So we got spark plug wires in, and he has a friend out there. His name's Trevor. He's a young kid. He's up and coming. And he's just a great person all around.
Yeah.
They tackled it for us. So we went up last weekend, and I was sitting there trying to help them. We had some friends let us use their air conditioned garage.
Nice.
I mean, they probably spent close to 8 hours replacing spark plugs and spark plug wires.
That's it. It should be a 15-minute job.
Holy smokes, man. I feel so bad for
Did you have to pull the motor out?
At a certain point, it might have been easier to just pull the motor out. Yeah. But, I mean, it's got the manifolds with these risers and a catalytic converter sitting on it, too. Everything's buried.
Oh, my God.
And there's, there's no YouTube video or anything to kind of, you got to pull alternators, yank the batteries, pull the hatch ram out, just so you can get underneath the engine to work,
And you wonder why it's 8 weeks out for anything.
Yeah, exactly. I guess my biggest takeaway from that is don't lay down in the boat with Randy there because you're going to get teabagged. Two, just replace maybe pull the motor out next time and do it again. Yeah. But also two, just have good friends, because they totally made it happen. Yeah. Saved the day. We went out that night or that day. We finally put the boat out on the water at 4:30 in the afternoon just to go ahead and
test it.
Yeah. A storm came in. We were on the water till 8:30, and it was just it ended up being like a short but felt like a long day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was great, man. So
that's awesome. Good.
Yeah. Besides that, now we're just working on getting Chance's race car ready. We're gonna go race the dirt. Yeah, we're gonna race dirt series this weekend.
Cool.
And so we've just got a few little things to do to get to that. But
the track's pretty sick that you guys are going to as well.
I've heard it is.
Yeah.
Chance says the Terra Cross people that you go there a lot.
They go out there and do it. RJ Anderson just did a full Polaris ride along thing out there. They had
really?
Yeah, they had a bunch of famous people, and he did a ride along with them with the Razor.
Oh,
he
wow!
Was just ripping it, and it was everyone's freaking out inside the car. So
because there's pretty big hits out there,
it's big hits for sure. So he's sending in the new Pro R. So it was really kind of a cool video. So I think they're releasing a series every Sunday or something on that.
Well, that's rad. Well, so in between some of those time, besides trying to exercise and wear my shit out, man. I'm just I'm my third week now of doing it, so I'm starting to feel like I'm actually exercising.
Yeah.
Instead of the first 2 weeks, I was just kind of
barely getting into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why am I not losing any weight? What is this doing?
Not actually into it.
I have some time. I've had some time to mess. I'm on the internet. My son I've never been a big fan of TikTok. How do you feel about TikTok? Are you on it much?
I'm not on it personally. I do have a TikTok account for River Season.
Okay.
So it's a little side brand that I've been working on, like you're saying, these side hustles. So it's just posting boat videos. That's all I do.
Sweet.
So every time I go to Havasu, I take the drone and I just get boat videos of different boats, badass boats, smaller boats, every boat,
Yeah, yeah.
And so all I do is I post a 15-second, 30-second clip with a song and post on TikTok, and they blow up, man. I just had one that hit 75,000 views. So they're doing really well.
Wow. Okay.
So it's funny. It's just the most basic stuff works on it. So it's I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure out, the analytics and how it really works. But it's weird because I'll have videos that do better on Instagram Reels, and then I'll have some that do just better on TikTok. So it's weird. Weird. It's just it doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I'm playing with it.
Well, I mean, I only look at TikTok. I think I just finally downloaded the app because, when my son or people send me TikTok videos to go look at them.
See them.
I just thought it was just people doing stupid shit, But, through that, messing with that, I was actually online. Like, what I like about, being online, sometimes the social media and stuff is it kind of like follows you and helps give things that maybe you might see and suggested stuff, and I constantly go through there and just keep like Xing, stop showing me this stuff.
I don't want to see it.
But there's this site, it's called Silodrome. I don't know, they have a bunch of random stuff on there, but what was really cool I saw the other day, it was a Cosworth engine that was for sale. And for those who don't know, Cosworth was like pretty much the original. They built Formula One engines.
Nice.
And you can buy this engine right now that was in a Formula One car. When this thing take a guess at what the RPM is.
Ooh. Honestly, I couldn't say.
And we're going back to the 50s, 60s, 70s, these engines back then. I mean, it's, they're 90-degree V8s.
Wow, okay.
20,000 RPM.
Holy crap. I was going to guess 10.
Yeah, 20,000 RPM is and it was 900 horse. Okay, this engine too, it weighed 220 pounds.
Wow.
Like, so these are the Formula One cars back in the day.
What year was that in a car? Did it say?
I couldn't find exactly when it was, but there was, I guess, this engine, it was racing Formula One between 2005 and 2013. So not too long ago.
Yeah.
The Red Bull teams used it. Toro Rosso, Williams, Lotus, Virgin, Minardi, Marussia, all were using this engine.
That's rad.
And so you can buy this engine. But what I thought was crazy about it is it says right here that, and this is all like on silodrome.com. They have a bunch of random stuff on there.
And is it like an auction site?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I have it on Instagram. Yeah. And they post some crazy stuff. They give good feedback to it, but at the speeds above 20,000 RPM, each piston experienced 10,000 Gs on the load on each crank, basically at each crank pin. So 10,000 Gs.
Wow.
Like a top fuel dragster produces 5.
Wow.
So I mean, like the highest sustained G-force a person has ever survived, which is like, I guess, supposedly under experimental. I mean, this is me going down the rabbit hole going, oh, wow, what's 10,000 Gs? Like, how do I make sense of what that is? But the high, it was 25 Gs for 1.1 seconds with a peak of 46.
Wow.
So we're talking 10,000 Gs. This piston's coming up and just banging and going back. So then my rabbit hole led me down. What would happen if the whole world experienced gravity 10,000 times more than it is now for 1 nanosecond? What do you think would happen at first? I'm like, what would happen? I feel like we're all going to get crushed or explode or something crazy. They said that, perhaps it sounds impressive, but your body with that time in that nanosecond, as long as it would recorrect itself in that nanosecond, you wouldn't feel the impact any more than you would feel like a single mosquito flying into your body.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh, that just doesn't make sense, man. No. I'm expecting just death.
Yeah, done. Explosion.
Gross. All the tall people are going to be my height after that or something, But what do you think you could buy this thing for, this engine?
Oh, man.
I'll have to show you some pictures too, guys. We'll load them up.
Yeah, is it like collectors? Is it kind of like a collector item now or what? Or you think
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's a Formula One engine. It's won Constructor Cups. I mean, it's got history behind it.
Yeah. Man, dude.
$8,000.
What?
That's what I said. I was like, whoa.
Why so? That's insane.
I'm like, shoot. I mean, what could I put that?
I know. What could you put one in?
Like my Sandgar would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but could you really run it? I mean, do you have electrical? Do you have all that stuff? Like, could you build a wired harness? Like, how would that work?
Assuming you could, man, what would you put it in?
Oh, man. Dude, I put that thing in like a sand car or like a Razor.
I mean, I don't have a lawnmower, but I think if I had a lawnmower, imagine out front revving that thing 20,000 RPM, dude, mowing your lawn.
There's nothing that sounds like an F1 car. Nothing. It's the best sounding engine in the world.
Well, man, at 225 pounds, I mean, shit, let's put it in an ATC
What's
or
I'm saying,
something.
you could put it in a Razor, man, and rip it.
Imagine that thing, a Razor sounding like an F1 car.
It'd be the craziest shit, man.
So
crazy issue.
that's kind of where that stuff kind of got me going down the rabbit
That's
hole.
insane.
And,
That is cool though.
It
It's
was
funny,
rad.
man. The internet will take you to some dark places.
I avoid the dark web. I'm like, try to keep it all positive and I guess entertaining and informative of
It
stuff.
is, yeah,
when
definitely.
it comes to cooking or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
I like to do that stuff.
You
But
watch cooking shows.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I was watching I don't know, that one with Gordon. Well, Gordon Ramsay has like 10 different
he's
ones
got
now,
10
so it's
shows
hard
now,
to even
yeah.
say. But
Yeah.
it's just sometimes curious to see what people do,
No,
how
for
they
sure.
throw it together, and
Yeah. It's like Guy Fieri. He's got 20 different shows out there too now. All those guys.
It is, man. It's so crazy. But the other thing we were looking at, remember we've been talking about electric cars, right?
Yep, a lot. I feel like every episode it comes up.
It does. Well, did you hear that Dodge basically? That 915 horsepower was that Cosworth is what 20,000
sick.
RPM, 915 horsepour,
Wow.
220 pounds.
Wow.
Sorry, I need to mention that. It was like a very strong point. I should have started off with that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
What they did, Dodge. Some of you
Yeah.
guys might know this. Did you hear anything about Dodge?
No.
They basically, it's last call, man. No more muscle cars. No more V8s in the Charger or the Challenger.
They're done.
No gasoline. It's done.
They just did a big release on a Challenger this right now.
Yeah.
Like they just did one this week.
2023, they're going to transition to an era of electric cars.
Yeah, but I feel like Chevy or GM said that too. Are they going to do that as well? Either like 2024 or
I know the
2025.
Camaro, I think, is kind of coming to an end also. It's like they're all trying to transition over to electric cars. I mean, I'm not sure what that means for us. Obviously, we still have tons of vehicles out there.
Yeah.
It's I think there's going to be very mixed emotions with
Yeah.
it. They're going to, they have some special editions in 2023 they're going to come out. They're going to have like a badge under the hood that's like quotation like last call.
Wow.
But
That's insane.
They're saying they're done, man.
Dodge is no longer producing
Muscle cars.
muscle cars.
Yeah, so I mean,
But
like,
are they still producing gas engines?
I believe so in some of the cars. Their trucks and stuff, they're going to have to. I mean, they're going to, or maybe they're diesel. But as far as their muscle car,
That's so weird. I feel like that was their niche, though. Like, that was their thing.
so that came out like a week or so ago,
Yeah.
and what is his name? Kuniski, he's like the CEO.
Yeah.
He says, at Dodge, we will never lift, and the brand will mark the last of our iconic Charger and Challenger nameplates in their current form in the same way they got us here. With a passion both for our products and our enthusiasts that drives us to create as much uniqueness in the muscle car community and marketplace as possible.
Wow.
He kind of left some stuff like, this summer we'll be electrifying in some of the ads or something like
Yeah.
that, and kind of tease about where they were going.
Yeah. No, I mean, everyone's trying to go electric, but I'm just curious if they're going to stop the, gas engines.
We'll find out. At SEMA, they're saying this year that Dodge, the details about the Heritage in 2023, they're going to be revealed later this year at SEMA in October.
Yeah.
And, it's the very last of its kind, they're calling it.
Okay.
And so we might be getting some more answers at SEMA, figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm definitely very curious. I guess that's a good place to release it.
When I read that first, I was left with a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I feel like everyone's going to be, though.
Like, what's next, man?
Yeah.
Like, why? What are you doing? And
dude, that's their thing, though. That's what's so crazy.
I don't know that I could ever be the customer of the electric car, at least not yet. It just doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And it might make sense for some people.
Yeah.
Like that Cosworth Formula One car might make sense in a Tesla for me, but the electric batteries might not, right?
If you buy a Tesla, buy the engine, throw it in.
It is. So what they did today, I found, is there's a concept.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've seen tons of concepts that we love that we wish would come to life. Like, I remember
Always.
seeing like an old Lincoln, kind of look like the 60s Lincoln. They were talking about bringing back some of the Cadillacs. And
I feel like the concepts are always cooler than the actual production vehicles.
Oh, 100%, because it's literally just a concept.
Yeah,
I mean, it's you got to take that concept now and throw it into manufacturing and be able to mass produce it. And sometimes you got to make adjustments to where you just can't mass produce that car. It becomes a custom one-off car, and now it's $1 million car.
Yeah.
So if you want that car for a relatively affordable cost that we can maybe all afford, sometimes I don't want to call it cutting corners, but you have to make some sacrifices
for sure.
To find that fine balance of I guess performance, quality, and price. Trying to find that balance where one doesn't outscale the other. It's got to be even one. So they're introducing this. It's a 2-door, and it's a Dodge Charger Daytona SRT. We'll have to post some videos of it.
Sick, okay.
I don't know. Here, I got to show you a picture of this thing right now while we're sitting here. Because, we've always talked, I wish they would just produce an old-looking car with a new style. But, that looks more like the old Charger than I've ever seen before.
Oh, yeah. It does.
It's not
definitely has a style to it.
It's not bad looking, right?
No, it's not.
I think it actually looks really cool.
They're coming out with it now?
This is the concept. And so they unveiled this maybe yesterday.
I saw them unveil something. I actually didn't even look at it.
Is that the M1 Concourse in Pontiac, Michigan? Right up kind of probably where you're probably right above that. But
that's more Detroit area than anything.
And
M1 is, by the way, track is awesome. It's really cool. The area is very crappy. The M1 Concourse.
Oh, it is? I've never even heard of it. I don't even know what it was.
Oh, it's really cool. So it's a track. Well, it's like, have you heard of Thermal Club?
Yes.
It's just like Thermal Club. They're building a bunch of houses and garages around it.
Really?
And it's a track that's in the middle of it. So what it is, it's an old wasteland, and they were permitted to build a track there and build that. So a long time ago, someone bought it for dirt cheap. There was actually a GM production facility on that grounds years ago. Okay. And they tore all of it down. Years ago from the very beginning.
Wow.
So it's just kind of cool background.
Well, and those for listening, Thermal is a place where you can buy a house. Yeah. Which is essentially a garage with one bedroom. You can.
They have full houses now over there.
Full houses,
full blown houses, and with a 20-car garage.
But you're in a private community. You can pull your race car out of your garage and go run on the racetrack. Yeah. You can pull your go-karts out, your street bikes, your race. And it doesn't have to be street legal. They prefer probably not having street legal vehicles on them.
They want race cars. Yeah, people have fulls of McLarens and Ferraris and everything there.
So some people have vacation homes at the beach, the lakes, the mountains, and then some people have vacation homes on racetracks with race cars.
Yep.
Which
it's a country club
sounds
for race,
amazing.
It's a country club for race cars.
A country club for race cars.
That's all it is.
I've never been to one. Maybe we'll get invited one of these days.
It's so cool, man. I've been to a couple of them, and they're unreal. Absolutely unreal. Spring Mountains in Pahrump. Spring Mountain's the same thing. Spring Mountain's beautiful, too.
Well, maybe, I hope M1 Concourse doesn't let this car on their track, being electric and all, not a race car. But maybe we'll see these cars going on.
They have electric race cars, man.
So now, what I thought was interesting about this one, which I think most people will, well, at least I will. So there's some key points in this car. The center console includes a unique jet fighter inspired cap that flips up to allow you to engage the start button.
That's cool. Yeah.
Which is
flip it up, start it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, here's something new. It's got a multi-speed transmission with an electromechanical shifting experience. That's pure Dodge. So you're gonna have an electric car with a transmission. Okay, apparently, you're gonna be able to shift gears in it. So you're gonna kind of get that surge,
you get that feeling
of shifting a car, and maybe they might even maybe they'll call it a manual, so you feel like you're banging gears. Obviously, I think a lot of them have this, but it says at the touch of a steering wheel, the driver can engage in auto sport, track, and drag modes instantly while driving. So changing all up. But what was really crazy is it's called a Fratzonic chambered exhaust. I'm like, what the hell is that? How's there an exhaust on this car, though? And so really what they're claiming it to be is the industry's first exhaust system for an electric vehicle delivers a performance sound that rivals the SRT Hellcat. So they're going to essentially make it have sound, make it sound like a V8.
Yep.
But the thing about a V8, it's
rumble though.
The sound is more iconic, I think, to people outside hearing it.
Yeah.
But it's not so much a sound, right? It's a feeling.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think they're going to be able to replicate that
feeling of pistons and everything?
The vibration, feeling. Are they going to be able to get you to forget that it's an electric car?
I doubt it.
I do too.
I doubt that they'll be able to. I don't know. Who knows though? I believe in. I don't know. I don't even know.
Does it become one of those things like I always remember all these new body styles that come out for trucks and stuff, and you look at them, you're like, that is crap. They're never gonna sell any.
I don't like it.
And then 6 months into it, you're like, it's kind of grown on me. I kind of like it.
It does grow on you. That's the thing. Like when Chevy came out that first year as like the 19 or whatever, like the square front, more like the big front, kind of like the Fords.
Yeah.
They came out with that, and everyone's like, I hate it. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, actually, I like that. I think it looks pretty sick. Or when they came out with the new Camaro, too. It was like really small headlights, and I was like, actually, I like it.
It's lame. No, they're still not that cool.
Still hate it.
Still hate it. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out and if they actually do it. If they can keep this concept.
It's a concept. So
keep it going. The body lines and the looks and styling, I think
Did they release
really
videos on that yet, or is that just a drawing?
Just drawings.
Yeah, I want to see the video. I want to hear it. I want to see it.
It's going to come out being a 4-door front wheel drive.
Like exactly what it's going to be.
It's going to end up being lame. But I hope not.
Yeah. You could hope.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, you could hope.
I mean, they have these iconic muscle car names and brands, and then they bring them in. Like, look at the Chevy Impala nowadays. It's like nothing like what the Impala was we all grew up with.
Impala was so sick back then, dude.
It was so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Mustang is kind of... It's obviously gone through some eras.
Yeah.
But it's kind of stayed true to its heritage. It still has those lines. The Camaro, too.
It's still sporty muscle car, you know.
But then you got the Dodge Dart. You're like,
I know.
Okay, dude, what is this thing? Sorry, Dodge Dart guys, but like, come on. At least the Pontiac GTO they brought back. At least it had an LS and a V8.
Yeah, it still rumbled. Yeah,
it did. But
it still rumbled.
I'm excited to see what comes from this thing. It's got some new 800-volt Banshee propulsion system.
I think that could be a game changer for electric. I bet you they're going to start really focusing on making muscle, electric muscle, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Dodge would do in the situation.
They're calling it e-muscle.
Okay, yeah, it's e-muscle. There you go.
And then there's another term they were using, which I have no idea what it means. Maybe someone come out. What is a BEV exhaust?
BEV.
And then it's going to be the BEV segment. It's something electric vehicle, but what does the B stand for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Badass?
It'd be a BA.
It's the bitchin' electric vehicle segment?
It's got to, we'll have to Google that because I have no idea.
Me neither. I didn't Google it either. I was afraid to Google something like that. Spell it wrong, something else comes up. Like
you don't want that in search history.
Exactly. But
it's awesome.
Looking through that, it's just like times are changing, man.
They are changing, man. We are at a very pinnacle point of the automotive industry, big time.
It really is, but it's I don't know where it's going, but I look back into like the 80s and the 90s, and our styling sucked. The cars were not that cool in the 80s and 90s.
That's true.
They kind of became very rounded and almost trying to look too futuristic.
Yeah,
I think
they try to go very futuristic. Oh, the 2000s are coming.
Yeah, exactly. And then everything's kind of squared out, looks more modern now.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what comes out.
Modern for sure is the word for it.
As long as they keep making them fast. They keep making them look cool. Well, I could probably get my head wrapped around it, regardless of exhaust or anything. But as an enthusiast, I think so.
I still think, like you're saying, electric has its place, man. It's going to be.
It does. So now, have you been hearing much about CARB and what they've been doing, and to the people that have been doing all the the DPF deletes and all those things? Have you heard how they've been cracking down?
They're cracking down hardcore, man. You should really know, especially being in the exhaust industry.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are truck drivers, so they get cracked down big time in California.
Okay, yeah.
I know a lot of them that just moved out of California. Like, I'm not gonna deal with this anymore.
But are they still allowed to work in California?
They're not really taking loads because they're still getting stopped.
All right.
So they're still getting stopped because of their exhaust and all that stuff.
So I've always looked at it kind of like when they first were released. Yeah. The first, I guess, DEF or DPF, whatever we want to call it, was poor.
Yeah.
But when you look at the first Kellett converter, it was extremely poor, too.
Yeah.
It didn't last long. Yeah. It didn't work well. It robbed power. It was huge. It was heavy. It was shit. And everybody hated it, right?
Yeah.
But it's evolved now where Kellett converters, they flow great.
Yeah.
They're not robbing much power. They're working very good. They're very clean. They've really made strides forward.
Yeah, and they're worth a lot of money. And easy
nowadays, holy smokes, right? I guess it's kind of like getting on that topic. we had a catalytic converter stolen out of like our parking lot, one of our employees' cars.
Yeah.
And the thing is kind of like, just protecting your home and stuff. You just got to make it harder.
Yeah.
And hope that they go to the next one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, weld some thick ass,
plate on the
1
bottom
inch
of it.
plate, strip down it.
Yeah.
So hopefully it eats their sawzall
sure they
up
can't
and
get
breaks
it,
their
yeah.
blade. They're like, oh, shit.
It sucks, man. And they
Yeah.
don't care. They don't like. So my girlfriend's, she has her old cars, her old Honda Civic from high school. It's at her mom's house, and they go in a driveway, they jack the car up. Her mom and her sister have seen it happen right then. Like, they're yelling at them to leave. They don't care. They look at it right at them. They're just going there and stealing it. They get on there, they steal it, they pull the jack out, they throw it in the car, and they leave. Like, no big deal. And they got like 5 on the street that night.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's mind-blowing that these thieves don't
It's a special
care.
place for thieves.
There is, absolutely. We keep saying, man, there's a special place for thieves. There
Crazy.
is. But anyways, back to the
So, but
the
yeah,
car stuff.
the DPFs and stuff.
Yeah.
I learned from it quickly that when somebody comes into your office and they work for the EPA,
Yeah.
and they want to see something, you can't tell them no, and they will show you a badge and say that you must. And they'll come in and they do random searches.
Yeah.
And they already know what they're looking for, and they're going to come search your place. They came in and searched our place looking for part
Really?
numbers. They would look at stuff we call like an extension pipe. They're like, well, what is that? Some people use these delete pipes. They call them extension pipes. I'm like, it's an extension pipe. Like, it's
Yeah.
for extending the exhaust
Yeah.
for a different length of the bed.
Yeah, different cab, yeah.
So, I mean, being in California, we've always stuck to, the carb rules, everything, having small eagle headers, all those things. We've never messed with that. And we
And
never.
that's got to be hard because there's so many, it's like producing guns in California. It's
Yeah,
almost
exactly. Well, and
impossible.
even in 2000, when the 6-liter Fords were popular, we found on a stock engine,
Yeah.
it did not make any more. It didn't make sense to remove that factory DPF. That was called like a soot collector then.
Yeah.
Because it allowed the vehicle to spool up faster and give you more usable power down low.
Okay.
When you open it up, it made it sound like an airplane taking off and just gave you max RPM.
Yeah.
Unless you're drag racing, it made no sense,
Yeah.
right? Sadly, that was a mistake on our end because nobody wanted this thing to be quiet. They all wanted them deleted, and we didn't sell hardly any of them.
Yeah.
Everybody did the deletes. But now, fast forward till today, thank goodness we didn't do that because
you would have gotten in trouble for it.
they're cracking down and raiding people's homes, yanking them out of their homes.
What?
Like, just these are like installers. They're not even the manufacturer of the parts. Someone that
Yeah.
maybe installed them or selling programs. I mean, like the feds are cracking down huge. They're
How long ago did it come into you?
This was about a year and a half ago.
Wow, man. That's crazy.
Maybe even 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're
During
also
COVID?
Yeah, exactly. They're even going as far as like going on Facebook Marketplace,
Yep,
finding people who are selling
my
it with them,
gosh.
and then finding those people
Yeah.
to put it right. Or they're saying put it back to stock or scrap your vehicle. I
It's
mean,
crazy.
it's
so frustrating.
insane. I mean, I can agree with some of the things that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
The whole roll call stage,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, that could be annoying at times,
Yeah.
and but there's got to be a better way to go about
There
it. There's got to
absolutely
be
is
a
a better way.
compromise, and I know a lot of the manufacturers are really working hard. I mean, when you look at the power the new diesels are making now compared to where they were when they first came out with the DPF, when we
Yeah.
saw the videos of the Ford lighting the grass on fire and stuff,
Yeah.
like. They've come a long way. So the beautiful part about the aftermarket performance industry is it's always kind of paved the way.
Yeah.
And it's really just like I mean, like we said this before in an earlier episode, when you look at the vehicles now versus where they were in the 80s and 90s, the aftermarket, community was turning those vehicles into what they are now.
For sure.
And so the aftermarket is pushing these, manufacturers, and the OEMs
Yeah.
to make more efficient, better running diesels that can make more power. I know like Banks and a few people out there are working on programmers and chips that are
Yeah.
carb compliant. We just hope carb. There's two ways to look at it. Carb is either trying to make it impossible for us to do, so we can't do it at all.
Yeah.
Or we're just not capable of making it, meeting their requirements.
Yeah, the way they want
It's
it.
got to be a fine balance because some of this stuff is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And what they want. Like when we used to, get our headers tested, this thing called like a cold start. Like this
Yeah.
that cat has to be at operating temperature within multiple seconds of fire up.
Wow.
And that's where like the choke and stuff came from.
Yeah.
You would clog
They
the
had
thing
to
up,
be-
try
yeah.
to get it. And it was such a hard one. But when they
What a
look at
crazy
mass numbers, it changes. So thankfully, aftermarket is here to
Yep.
keep everybody moving forward. And as
Absolutely.
long as you're passionate, as long as you have the drive to want to be better,
Yep.
regardless of electric vehicles, the industry is going to be here, and it's going to keep moving forward, and it's going to be a fun one. It's just another hurdle and a roadblock.
It's exciting to see where electric goes. It's gonna be a change for sure. There'll always be combustion engines, but I still feel like electric's gonna be a cool deal. But when an electric vehicle could go 500 miles and tow your boat, I think it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Yeah, that won't happen.
No, hey, they'll keep digging the coal mines, man. Make those batteries.
I mean, the positive, I guess, for the younger generation is they're not going to be. No one's going to hear them sneaking out and coming home.
That's true. Yeah.
You can go drag race behind your
house,
and no one's going to hear you drag racing.
Hear you. You're in trouble.
If you're running from your homies or the men in blue, you're not gonna have to go hide behind something and shut the engine off.
You can keep it on.
Just keep it on.
You can just keep driving. They're not gonna hear you.
Exactly. So there are some benefits with that. And hey, you know what? All you electric vehicle owners out there that love them, go get them.
Yeah.
Buy less gas, and let's get that cost of gas coming down. Hopefully, if the demand goes down, the
supply will go down, or the supply, the price will go down because demand goes down.
That's what I'm hoping, man. But
one of these days, I mean, dude, times are crazy with the gas prices, but I mean, eventually, the thing is, they can do this every year. It's like, cool, I'm gonna put up to $5. I'm bringing it down to $4.50, make you happy.
Yeah.
We go to $6, I'm bringing it down to $5.50, make you happy. So it's just constantly, it's always gonna keep going up, and they bring it down a little bit.
We need to get someone from the gas industry in here to tell us a little more
we need to talk. Yeah, we need to talk to them. Who should we get? Who knows? Who knows people from the gas industry? Because
I might know someone.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You really?
I might know someone.
That'd be pretty epic. I want to know their how they're doing things. And
I don't know that we're gonna get much information from them too. It's just like any sort of business, right? You're buying something, you're reselling something.
For sure, yeah.
And then your competition and the consumer really kind of dictates where you sell.
If they could explain to us at least how it works in the industry, that'd be really cool to know.
Well, back in the day, they used to be able to buy, you could buy low, sell high type of thing to give opportunities. Now, these gas stations and stuff, they don't even have any sort of hands in the buying anymore.
No.
Literally,
this is how much you're paying.
The gas station says they see all the numbers and they know when you need it, and then they send it to you.
Really?
That's it.
So that's all you do.
That's all you do.
They just show up and deliver, and they send you a bill at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is, right?
So you don't even buy in a certain amount. You're just there.
You're just buying what you need.
You're just being supplied.
Yeah.
That's pretty incredible, man.
It's a total trip.
Yeah.
But, I mean, other than that, I hope you guys like our show so far.
Yeah,
it's
super
been,
stoked.
Coming along. I think we're getting better.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're trying to decide when the right time to start smoking weed and drinking, so we get Elon Musk on.
We'll get Elon here, but we got to stop talking shit about electric cars.
Change this water into vodka one day.
And we'll be set right there.
Yeah. Tune in for that one. That should be interesting.
Exactly. Next week, we do have an awesome guest coming in, though, so I'm really excited to drop that on you guys, and it'll be a cool
What's
story
awesome?
For sure. What's awesome?
What's awesome? Can you tell me who it is?
No, you have to wait and find out.
Oh, come on, man.
He races.
Okay, so it's a he.
It's a he. He races short course. He's been in the short course game a long time. He's newer to the Baja racing, to off-road, long distance racing, and he's absolutely killing it. So it's really cool to see him there. And this kid just lives the freaking life, dude. He's out there enjoying life, traveling, very, very business-like. So it's going to be cool, man. I'm really excited to chat with them. So
I'm excited. I'm also excited. We got Labor Day weekend come up here, which is a big weekend in Southern California. I'm excited to hear all your crazy stories.
My crazy story.
Lambo out there at the lake.
No way, man. I'll be in Crandon, dude. Every year, dude. Crandon's Labor Day weekend, which sucks, but it's also really cool because Crandon's awesome.
I feel like nowadays there's probably going to be more crazy stories coming out of Crandon than there will be in Havasu.
I don't know, man. Havasu is popping off right now.
I've heard it's wild in the campgrounds at Crandon.
Dude, they have this thing called Jurassic Park. It's unreal, man. I can't even show you guys videos on here because they have this thing called the Naked Slip and Slide. It's unbelievable.
Really?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's a party back there for sure.
So define naked slip and slide. I don't quite get it.
It's a naked.
Oh.
It's naked,
and
you go down slip and slide.
Wow. Sounds amazing.
It is the redneck party of the world for sure. But it leads for there's amazing racing going on. It's an amazing weekend. Everyone waits for that weekend all year to go. So,
honey, on your 40th birthday here in September, naked slip and slide.
Let's go.
Jurassic Park. I heard it's a great time.
If you guys haven't if you don't know about Crandon, look them up because Crandon's unbelievable. There's a lot of really cool content online about it, and It's been around, I think it's the 53rd year that they're running.
Be careful searching those topics.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park, Naked
Jurassic
Slip and
Park
Slide, all in the
like,
same browser. You might get flagged.
Yeah,
someone's come knocking on your door.
Exactly. Like the EPA does.
Hey, weirdo. what you think about Jurassic Park?
What are you looking up? Send me some dinosaur shit. But
I will see you next time, dude.
Yeah, man, that's a wrap. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us some of those 5 stars.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want to watch it too, watch on YouTube. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can listen on Spotify while you're driving or whatever. So,
any suggestions? Anything?
Let us know.
Hit us up, man. We got some pretty thick skin. We'll cry behind the scenes if you say something.
If you say something really mean, yeah, we'll cry behind the scenes. But thank you again for watching, for listening. That's a wrap.
Yeah. Tune in for our next guest.
See you.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got him picking up the pieces.